Just so you know, you literally tried to fix your hair before cutting the camera on to make a video for yourself. So, um, so Friday, you found out that your divorce was finalized, and you were not ready to hear that news because you thought that it was going to be continued and you would have a little bit more time to process. And you and Mike used to joke about high-fiving at the end of it and kind of going separate ways as friends, and it not being such a devastating thing. Well, you got the message through a phone call while you were out with Josh and his mom and the girls. Excuse me. So you were kind of dealing with that emotion and processing that, all while you and Josh were not very good at all. The relationship was not great. So you got in the car, you went to talk about it, and you were cut off by which direction they needed to go to get to wherever they were going. So you waited, and then when you got back to the house, it was brought up, and you mentioned it, and it meant nothing. It didn't matter. But later that night, you found out that there were messages on his phone that he had been talking to people, and more than just what was scammers, as what he said. So in the same day, you found out that your divorce was finalized and that your partner was doing something that he himself said was cheating. When you give another person attention, it is considered cheating to him. So, your worlds fell apart. Both of your worlds fell apart in one day. All in the same day. Police were called. You called his friend because you didn't know if you were going to need a place to stay that night, and was hoping that she would be Christian and kind enough to offer you a night of stay. Then it got better. You made up. At least that's what the conversation sounded like. And then he goes over there the next day to his friend's house, and he decided that it was done because the friend knew, and it wasn't something that could be hidden. I was told, or you were told, that you weren't allowed over there anymore. So there was also like the issue with the brother, because you tried to join in a conversation, because that's what you've always done with people. You've always had people like that and bond with you more over that because they were feeling included and they felt valued by you. But that's not the case, apparently, with this family or this area. It's just that's not how it's done here. Mother took things the wrong way. You weren't being malicious, you weren't being trying to be rude or anything, but that's the way they took it. So that was really awkward. But so everything fell apart. Both of your worlds were gone in one night, and you had to find out what you were going to do. You're still, at this moment, you're still torn about going to your parents and living in a camper on their property and having to go inside to use the bathroom in the elements and at night or whenever you gotta go. Or you can go to Virginia, where you really hate, but your best friend's there. And your sister's relationship seems to be doing better, but she was also just in a really good mood before she was going on a trip. So who knows if that was like a genuine bonding thing, or if it was just because she was in a good mood. But there is family in Virginia. So there's Amy, someone that I can hold me and love me without a doubt, unconditionally love you. There's your sister, who you know loves you, even though she is doing, her own protection and boundaries and stuff. So she does love you, even though if it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Your cousins love you. They care about you. You haven't kept in contact with them, you haven't talked to them, but they love you. And they do not want to see you suffer. They do not want to see you hurt. You are not alone. You feel alone because you put everything, you put your entire self into this relationship, like you always do. You put everything into a relationship. And when it's gone, there's nothing left. At least that's what it feels like. So, but I am telling you, because it is right now, I feel some kind of peace. I've been praying, so I'm hoping that this is from God. So I'm telling you that it is okay. There are times of peace because I feel it right now. It's scary. I'm sad. I'm not really thinking about anything right now about what's got to go happen and everything, but there is a peace right now. So if you are watching this in a time of chaos, there is peace. There will be moments of peace. So, you were watching videos about how when you pour yourself into somebody and when somebody loves you the way this person did, it triggers an addiction chemical in your brain. There's dopamine and adrenaline and something else. Endorphins, I think. So dopamine, endorphins, and adrenaline. And those are the same things that happen with addiction. So when this person starts pulling away, or when there's problems, you go into a withdrawal. And your brain is desperate to get back to those good feelings. Now, it's not necessarily love. It's not necessarily they're the one. It's the chemical, like we interpret it as love, and we interpret it as the bond that you feel for somebody, that connection and bond you feel for somebody. That is the emotional words that we put to it. But the scientific chemical process is the same thing as an addiction and withdrawal. So if you treat this pain like an addiction and a withdrawal, then you have to do the things that an addict would have to do. This was recommended to go cold turkey, which you have not done yet because you are still here. You have not moved out yet, and I don't know what that's going to be like for you. But people care. And you just got a message come across your screen from him, but it's fine. You'll deal with that later. So I don't know what things are going to be like later on, but it will be okay. It will be okay. You are beautiful. I know that you've been told things within the past few years that have made you doubt that. There are things that you've just been doubting yourself with things. You have been made to feel bad about things. You have been made to not feel safe. But you can look for yourself and see that you are not a bad looking person at all. You have a full figured body. You know, when you don't actually pick, which I know that's something that you were fussed at about a lot. But if you don't do that, like you look fine. You look great. You're beautiful. You're not disgusting. And then, you know, your plans of working out, that's going to make you even look better. So you're not going to have any trouble finding someone else when you're ready. When you don't need that addiction anymore, when you don't need that when you don't need to feel somebody love you, like a guy's attention to love you, because people do love you. Your family loves you. They may not act like it, but they do. That kind of love is, it's unconditional. It's always there. So you're not gonna have any trouble finding another guy at all. Don't worry about it. And who's to say that this person won't want you back later? But right now, you need to go and get on medication like you should have been on the entire time when you were working and with Mike. Just because you're happy doesn't mean that you don't need it anymore. That just means that the medicine was working and somebody was fixing that dopamine fix. Stay on the medicine. Keep it up. And don't lose track. Don't feel safe with somebody else. Don't fall for that again. Because somebody says that they will take care of you, because somebody will promise you this or that, or says that they've got the experience and they don't mind doing it again, or whatever it is. Do not trust it. You need to always have a way to pick yourself up no matter what happens. You need to always have a backup plan. And that may be having money stashed away. That may be having your education finally completed, staying with it and getting an education and a job, so that no one can have that control and power over you again. I know it hurts. I still feel it. Even in this moment of peace, I still feel it. I still hurt. And I keep telling myself that I love him. But think about what's happened. You are valuable. Just as you are, you're valuable. No education, no job. You're still a valuable person. Your heart is kind. You love fiercely. You love so deeply and fiercely. You give attention. You connect and love on a level that I don't think anybody else does. And that's why it is so rare for you to find something that connects on that level. And I know that scares you because you know what it feels like and you've had it once again. And something you thought you never feel again, and you felt it again. Who's to say it won't happen a third time? But if it doesn't, if you don't find that connection, but you find somebody good and you find someone safe and who genuinely loves you through everything, no matter how hard it is, understanding that you are a piece of work and still working on yourself, someone that will be there and hold your hand and not judge you and not turn against you and not use it against you, to not try to make you feel worthless. There is someone out there that will do that. That doesn't mean you need to lower your standards, though. Find friends. You don't need a date. You can't date. You cannot date. I know you want to date, but you cannot date. That's got to be over until you don't feel pain anymore. And that's probably going to take a very long time because of how deeply involved you are and how addicted you are. But you cannot date. You cannot date. You cannot fall in love. You cannot get those dopamine hits. You have to be alone. You can have friends, preferably girlfriends, but we both know, like, you get along better with guys. Maybe find gay friends, gay guy friends. That might work. But then they're more girly than girly girls. I don't know. But you cannot date. You cannot do anything physical with anybody because that is going to completely restart the clock. And you don't want to have to go through all this all over again. Now, if you find peace, and who knows how long I'm assuming it's going to take a very, 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 very long time for you to get over what you're feeling. But if you take your medicine and you work out and you focus on what makes you happy and you actually find happiness, when you find happiness without another person, like you are genuinely 100% okay by yourself on your own, you need no man. Then, if there happens to have been a friend that had sparked some interest, or if you, I don't know what's going to happen with this person. I don't know if they're even going to be an option in the future, but until you are okay and you don't hurt anymore, you cannot go on that level with anybody else. You have to be very careful. No dinner dates. Coffee. Just coffee. Just meet people for coffee and conversation. Maybe a beach trip or something. Have fun. Like, not a physical thing. Because you and I know we can't do that without having a connection. And we do not need a connection. We have to stay away from connections. But you can do friend beach trips. You can do coffee and conversation. Get with a group of people, that friend group. Like, there's maybe find friend groups on Facebook, or find a friend group app and find people that have the same interests. Learn how to do different things. Join a sewing group. Join a crocheting group. Who knows? Kayaking. Learn how to surf, maybe. That's something you've always wanted to do, but I don't know if your current body can handle surfing. Paddleboarding, maybe. Find something that makes you genuinely happy, that you don't need another person, that someone else just adds to the joy, but you don't need them. And stay in that. Even when you're ready for a relationship again and you want to be committed to somebody again and love them, make sure that you never give them that kind of power again, so that you don't have to feel what you're feeling right now. I would recommend, like in this right now, because I'm traumatized, I would say don't let your walls down again. No matter what they do, no matter how much they say that they're there for you and never going to leave you, because we know that that's not the case, because even that's not true. People die, people leave. You knew that. You knew that going into the place you are now. You knew in your gut and your instinct that people leave and people die. And you fell for it. And you dropped your walls. Don't drop your walls again. Love them. But I would recommend not dropping your walls again. Not until you know that you can be 100% okay. Your own money, your own place, your own life. That you know that they are not your life, they're just a part of your life. And that's where you went wrong. You made this person your entire life instead of a part of your life. You conformed back into the same type of relationship that your ex-husband had you under. The exact same kind, if not worse. Because you actually let your walls down with this relationship. You didn't connect with your husband on the level that you feel now. So this hurts more. This is worse. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. It's going to suck. It's going to get so worse, so much worse. This peace that I feel right now may be because I'm hoping it's prayer. But maybe it's because I haven't gone completely no contact cold turkey yet. And maybe it's because I have thought about the addiction part of it, and I have thought about how much better it's going to be when I can support myself and I don't have anybody else having that power over me, that I can choose. I can choose who to I won't be dependent. So I'll have the ability to leave without it being so scary and devastating. And I also have a calm because I am starting to not feel as worthless as I was being told that I was. The laziness and stuff. Now that's where the medication's gonna help. And there's possibly ADHD or something else. Who knows what's going on. And there's probably a little bit of spoiledness there too. Because, it's kind of what you're used to. But you're not worthless. You are very attractive. Very attractive. You're not like the hottest thing out there in the world, but you're not going to have any problem finding anything. So I know in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm not going to find anyone else. I'm not going to find anyone else to love or accept me or whatever, but that's not true. That is not true. You can literally go through your Facebook right now and find probably 10, 15 people that would want to date you. I know you want that person. I know how you feel about that person. That person's done. You are done. You need this. You need to feel this pain. You need to remember this pain so that no one can do it to you again. Love somebody in a healthy way, not a devastating one. Do not give somebody your entire self. Be your own person. Because you are amazing. You are freaking awesome. You play keyboard, you sing, you are very creative, you do digital stuff, and I know that that's something that they've tried to take away from you, telling you stupid phone, stupid computer, that it's a waste of your time and you're not bettering yourself and all that. It is creativity. Sweetie, it is you. It is what gives you that dopamine and that adrenaline when you create new patterns, when you create new things that you share with people and gives joy to other people. That is a beautiful thing. It doesn't need to consume your life, but when you're using it as a coping mechanism like you have been, it looks like it does consume your life. You need to do other things. But you are amazing with your creativity, with your ideas. You are good with caring about people. And that's another thing. You've been told that you don't care. You don't care about them. You don't care about other things going on. But they don't feel what's in your heart. They don't know how badly you wish you could take it all away. How badly you wish you can function like a normal person. How you wish more than anything in the world that you could just make them happy like they were in the beginning. But that is not your responsibility. You do not need to make anybody happy. Your happiness should not depend on somebody else. Their happiness should not depend on you. There is happiness when you guys are together, but it should not depend on either one of you. That is not healthy. That is not safe. So what other awesome things do you do? Play music, you sing, your creativity stuff that you do online. You built a business completely from scratch. Like, you did the research, you did, you went as far as to like looking up zoning codes and everything. You did amazing. You did an LLC. No one helped you. No one taught you. You did it by yourself. And you did this back when you were in high school. So that's pretty awesome. Don't let people belittle you, take away what you value. It's important to you, it's important. If they don't see the importance, That's on them. That doesn't devalue you at all. You're crafting. You enjoy doing your crafts. Your love for animals. What else is there? And I know right now you're thinking about what he said about neglecting the chickens and ducks and you're feeling guilty. But sweetie, because I'm remembering the pain, that's why I'm crying. You were in such a state. You could barely breathe, much less go outside and take care of things. Anytime you tried to function, you would break down. And it's probably going to happen again. When you go to pack, when you go to throw things away, you're probably going to break down again. There's breathing exercises. Maybe come back to this video if you think it'll help. Pray. Pray. Because God can literally put everything in your lap. Life used to be so easy before, didn't it? Remember when you would just wish for something, pray for something, and almost instantly it would happen for you? You were living a godly life. You were living the way a Christian was expected to live. And when you fell away from your religion and your church, things started to get harder. Things started to get bad with Mike. And it just kind of went downhill from there. So, and there was a lot of social anxiety and toxic friend groups that you were involved that had to do with that. And that's why you got this social anxiety now from those toxic friends. But you learned about it. You joined a MOPS group and you learned what safe friends felt like and what toxic friends felt like. And there were times that you spiraled. There were times that you were triggered by someone you thought was a safe friend and ended up having to cut them out of your life. That was hard. That was like going through a breakup. Like, there was a grieving process. Like, when you lose friends or when you break away from a friendship, it's like breaking up with a boyfriend. It hurts. Maybe not as intense, depending on how strong the bond was, but still the same thing. But you know now. That was a learning experience, and now you know. Just like this is going to be a learning experience, and you will know. You will come out of all of this better. You will come out of all this eventually not feeling the pain. Remember how bad it was with Ryan? Which I know in the back of your mind absolutely freaking terrifies you, because that almost ended your life. And now you're feeling that connection in an adult relationship. You didn't see Ryan as much as you saw this person. You didn't do the things with Ryan as much as you did with this person. So you're going to go through it. Find your support group. Find your people. Find your friends. Find new hobbies to add. Get outside of your head. Because it's going to play tricks on you. You're going to be just like an addict. You're going to try to go back. You're going to try to get those dopamine hits. Whether with the person that you're leaving or with somebody new. which we both know in our mind that can very, very, very easily be done. Like insanely easy. But we need this. We need to do this. We need to just get it done. You know, we keep pushing it back and pushing it back. We get into another relationship and then we get safe and secure, and then we just we give up on the school, or we push the schooling back because it's not a priority anymore, because we're safe and we feel secure and we trust that. So we don't have the desire or the motivation, and it's not a priority. We've always had the relationship be the priority, and that's got to stop. That has got to stop. You need to prioritize school. I know you hate school. We hate school. We like good grades. We like getting grades. But we hate school. We hate doing the work. As most people do. But it will make everything better. You will feel more valued, more than what you already are. Unfortunately, society values those things, so it'll make you even more valuable to the world for when you're ready to date. You'll be able to get a good job, and you'll be able to support yourself. Or even if you have to get a roommate, you'll at least be self-reliant. Even if you can't fully support yourself 100% on your own, you will be able to at least afford a roommate and be able to do your own life and not depend completely on a boyfriend or whatever. Get it done. It'll go by fast. You were with this person. You were with this person for 2 years. 2 years, and next week will be 2 years and 1 month. So that went by fast. School will go by that fast. And even while you're in school, that doesn't mean you have to wait completely until you finish. You just need to wait until you don't hurt anymore. You need to wait until you know that somebody, until you won't attach completely onto that person. So while you're in school, while you're getting your life together, when you don't hurt anymore, go date. Go be with somebody. Go find happiness. As long as you don't give up on the school, keep the school going. Find someone that is going to support you while you are doing school. Find someone that is going to love you through the things that you are currently doing. So that gives me peace. That even gives me more peace than what I already feel, knowing that. Knowing that I don't have to wait until school is completed, until I have my life completely all together to find love. No. I just need to wait until I don't hurt anymore. Until I have a direction and a goal, and I'm okay. Then I can start dating. Then I can find that person. But probably by the time you get over the pain and you jump into all these new activities, you're probably, I don't know, your whole mind could reset. Like right now, like you desperately want that relationship, and you want that marriage life. You want to be the wife. You want to be married and committed and pour yourself into somebody entirely and completely. But once you go through this healing process, you might be a completely different person. you might not want that for yourself anymore. So who you look for in a person might be completely different. And you might not even want to date until you finish school, because at that point you'll already have other things that give you happiness and you won't need that relationship. So I'm gonna go and check my message, and yeah, keep your head up. Remember that there is peace. There is waves of peace. There is waves of calm, but you've got to get through the hard parts first. My heart. My heart breaks for you. My heart breaks for the pain that I know you'll go through. Remembering the way it was when we left Ryan, and then had to go through it all over again when he left us, when he left this world. So I know how that almost ended your life with that breakup that wasn't even an adult relationship, because you loved them so deeply. I know that this is going to be worse than that, which is why I am telling you, find your support, find things to dive into that makes you happy. And even if you are just like so numb to where you don't want to do anything, try to see if forcing yourself changes it. See if being in a different element, and like a class, take a class of some sort, like a kayaking class or something. See if being in that element will help you distract you from that pain. Take your medicine. The doctor's appointment is next week. Take your medicine. And breathe. And know there will be peace, just like there was peace after Ryan. There will be peace after this. It will take time. You will suffer. It will hurt. You will be okay. But you have to make the choice to be okay. Be with your friends. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family. Reach back out and connect. Find your support. You are so wonderful. And there are so many people that see it. So do not focus on the negative things that people have told you. Do not. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has problems. That is okay. That is normal. That is human. It is good that you are finally getting the help you need. And not all the problems that you have been accused of were valid. And you know it. You know it. You knew it then, and because of your dopamine fix, you overlooked it. Do not devalue yourself. because there are way too many people out there that see you and who would love to be with you. You are loved. You are loved by family, by your friends. You can reconnect, and you can find new friends. There will be peace. You just have to get through it. I love you. You're amazing.